Soft, melancholic piano music begins to play. The scene opens with a close-up shot of a small cake with a single flickering candle. Imagine this moment. An old man sits at a table. It's his 81st birthday, but there are no guests, no laughter, no voices, just silence, just him. And the candlelight loneliness. It's not just an emotion, it's a quiet killer. Studies show that chronic loneliness can be as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, dementia, and even early death. But here's the shocking part. It often goes unnoticed. Because unlike a disease, loneliness doesn't scream. It whispers as people age. Social circles shrink. Friends pass away. Children move far. Spouses are lost. And suddenly conversations disappear. What fills that silence? TV shows, memories, sometimes tears, but not human connection. You see, humans are not designed to live alone. We are wired for companionship, for belonging. When that's taken away, especially in the later years, the mind and body begin to deteriorate. The immune system weakens. Stress hormones rise. Sleep becomes poor. The brain begins to age faster. It's no surprise that socially isolated, seniors are 50% more likely to die prematurely. And yet, we rarely talk about this. We assume an older person who lives alone is doing fine. But behind the closed doors, there may be crushing silence and emotional pain. Cut 2. The old man gently blowing out the candle. He smiles faintly, pretending to be okay. If you're watching this and you have an older parent, grandparent, neighbor, call them, visit them, invite them in. Because what they need most isn't just medicine or vitamins. It's connection. And if you're an older adult yourself, remember this: you're not alone. Reach out. Join a community. Start with one conversation. It could save your life. Loneliness may be silent, but its impact echoes louder than we think. Scene fades to black. The candle goes out. Scene opens with a close-up of a hand slowly opening a weekly pill organizer. The compartments are filled with colorful tablets. A shaking hand picks up several pills every morning. It's the same. Routine? Open the pill box. Swallow a handful of tablets. Hope for the best. But what if those pills, the ones meant to help, are actually hurting? As we age, it's common to develop health problems. High blood pressure, diabetes, joint pain, anxiety, and for every symptom, a new medication is added. Soon one prescription turns into 5. 5 turn into 10. And just like that, the body becomes a battlefield of conflicting chemicals. It's called polypharmacy, taking multiple medications at once. And it's more dangerous than most people realize. For people over 60, the risk of harmful drug interactions skyrockets. Some medications cancel each other out. Others combine in harmful ways, causing fatigue, confusion, dizziness, even internal damage. The liver and kidneys, already slowing down with age, struggle to filter out these chemicals, and the brain. It begins to feel foggy. Many cases of memory loss in older adults are actually side effects of unnecessary or poorly managed medications. Even common, over-the-counter drugs like sleep aids, painkillers, or allergy meds can quietly damage health when used for too long or with other prescriptions. But here's the sad part. Most older adults trust the process. They assume if a doctor gave it to me, it must be safe. And doctors, they don't always know what other medications the patient is taking, especially if they've seen multiple specialists. Cut 2. A close-up of a label reading "Take once daily." The person stares at it with uncertainty. Overmedication doesn't always look dramatic. It looks like weakness, drowsiness, falls, memory issues. So what's the solution? Simple. Awareness. Regular medication reviews with a doctor or pharmacist. Asking questions. Understanding what each pill does. Why it's being taken? Because sometimes less is more. And sometimes the pill that gets removed might just add a few more years to life. Scene ends with a person closing the pill box and smiling as if deciding to take control. Scene opens with a shot of dusty walking shoes lying untouched near the door. A clock ticks in the background. Cut to an elderly man slowly trying to stand up from a chair, struggling. There was a time when these shoes were used every day. Walks in the park, trips to the market, visiting friends. But now, they sit still, just like him. What happens when we stop moving? Many people think that aging causes weakness, but in reality, it's the lack of movement that speeds up aging. After the age of 50, we start losing muscle mass up to 1% every year. But when we stop walking, stretching, or lifting even small weights, that muscle loss accelerates, and with it goes strength, balance, and independence. The joints stiffen, bones weaken, the heart works harder, even digestion slows down, and here's something most people miss. The brain suffers too. Movement increases, blood flow to the brain, boosting memory and mood. Without it, cognitive decline begins to creep in quietly. Cut to the man staring at his cane, then looking at the door, hesitant. But the decline doesn't start with a fall. It starts when someone says, "I'm too tired to go outside today. It's too cold. I'll do it tomorrow." And tomorrow never comes. What's the solution? You don't need a gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You just need to move. A 20-minute walk each day can improve heart health, joint flexibility, and even reduce the risk of dementia. Light stretching in the morning can improve balance and prevent dangerous falls. Chair exercises, dancing, gardening, they all count. Cut 2. The man finally lacing up his shoes. He opens the door. Sunlight hits his face. He smiles. The human body was made to move. And as long as we keep moving, keep living, not just longer, but better. So dust off those shoes. Take that first step, because one step today could be the reason you're still walking strong at 90. Scene fades to the sound of footsteps walking away. Scene opens with an elderly woman lying in bed, eyes wide open. The blue light from a phone screen reflects on her face. The clock shows to 47 a.m. She scrolls through photos, news, memories, but sleep doesn't come. Many think poor sleep is just a normal part of aging, but it's not. It's a warning sign. Sleep is when the body repairs itself. The brain clears out toxins. The heart slows down. Cells heal. But late night screen time, stress, irregular sleep patterns confuse the body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm, and that confusion slowly damages the immune system, the brain, and the heart. Poor sleep has been linked to memory loss, depression, weight gain, and even earlier death. Cut 2. The woman puts down the phone and closes her eyes. Want to live longer? Start by sleeping better. Turn off screens early. Stick to a routine and let the night do its healing. Scene opens with an elderly man sitting alone in a dimly lit room. He holds an old photograph, a younger version of himself with his wife. His eyes well up, but he says nothing. Some wounds don't bleed. Some pain doesn't scream, it just stays. Quietly, deeply, for years. Grief is something most people experience. The loss of a spouse, a child, a friend. But unspoken, unprocessed grief, that's something else. It doesn't fade with time, it buries itself in the body. Chronic sadness. And suppressed emotions increase stress hormones like cortisol. And over time, that weakens the immune system, harms the heart, disrupts sleep, even increases the risk of Alzheimer's. Grief isn't just emotional, it's physical. But because older people are expected to be strong, they often keep it inside. Cut 2. The man gently sets the photo down, staring into space. They smile for others, but ache in silence. And that silent grief can slowly shorten life. The truth is, healing begins with one conversation, one moment of sharing, one breath of honesty. Cut 2. The man on a video call, softly smiling at a familiar face. You don't have to carry the weight alone. Talk to someone. Open up. Because letting go of pain doesn't mean forgetting. It means making space for life to continue.